Hi everyone, welcome to Water Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie, you're not, neither any of these blokes. This is my old mate Kaliberz. At least this, I think that's how it's pronounced. Kaliberz, I'm not too sure. Kaliberz is in the EBR 90, the Tier 9 French wheeled light tank. He's running around on cliff and he's not mucking around at all. He's going straight for the lighthouse on cliff. Now you might be wondering, why am I putting a video out on a Friday? I don't know. Why do I put videos out on Fridays? Every now and then the Friday video is going to be something a little bit different, and this will be no different. There's been a lot of talk lately about the Anonymizer and how that's going to affect World of Tanks, how it's going to affect gameplay, toxicity, which is a word that I don't really like, but a lot of people use that word. I'm not even sure. Is it a real word? I don't know. Anyway, we'll get to that towards the end of the game. First of all, we'll watch Kaliberz have an absolute ripper on cliff. This game does go for a little while, so we might talk a little bit about the Anonymizer in the quiet bits. Of course, there'll be good things about the Anonymizer, but don't worry, like any change in World of Tanks, there's going to be negative things as well. You might have seen some videos out there from people saying how it's awesome or how it's terrible, and look, I'm still not 100%. Either way, to me it's more of it doesn't really affect me. It doesn't really affect me at all, but I can understand why some people might think it's a good thing. Mainly players that are really good, maybe they'll get focused a little bit less. I'm not sure. Let's have a look at this game first. Kaliberz is in the EBR 90, the Tier 9 French wheeled light tank. He's up there on the cliff. Looks like he's having a good time here. He's finding the 54 E1. Now he did cop a pretty big hit from the T49, the T49 Tier 9 American light tank, the one with the derp gun. He was probably a little bit unlucky to get that, because if you've ever played the T49, it takes an age to aim. The T49 on the enemy team was clearly waiting for Kaliberz to poke before it could launch one of those HE rounds. One of those 152mm HE rounds, I think it might be. Look at the hole there. You can see the hole there on the front of his tank. Now, he's already racked up 864 hit points of damage and a kill. If you ask me, he's a bit unlucky he hasn't picked up any assisted damage. Friendly artillery is already out of the game. The M40, M43. I'm not sure. I'm guessing it was counter batteried. I missed that bit. The only other tank that's still alive is the T54. The only other tank on the enemy team that's had kills is the T54E1, which didn't kill the Arty, I don't think, or the T10. I find it very hard to believe that the T10 would do that one. He finds the T49, shoots, but doesn't quite. His gun just came back up just as he hit fire. That's the same T49 that shot him earlier, so he'll be eager for some revenge. He just got him for 243 hit points, 1107 hit points of damage done so far. Let's have a look at the gun on this bad boy. It's a 90mm French gun, 240 alpha damage, 185 penetration with armor-piercing rounds, which is standard in this one. He's trying to peek that bush again. Now that shot didn't hit. That shot, you saw the dust come up. If you're ever blind shooting somebody and the dust comes up, you know you've missed. Okay, there's also there's heat as premium ammunition, which is 230 penetration for the 240 damage, so it's an extra 45mm of penetration, which is not insignificant. Also, there's the HE option, 320 alpha damage for 90mm of penetration, so it's an extra 80. Potentially, it's an extra 80 hit points of damage. And like a lot of tanks, the HE option is a very real option in the EBR 90. Who knows? Maybe that's going to change, but maybe that's a topic for discussion for a different video. 2-4 is the score. He's got only 2 tanks have been killed, and he's got one of them. We haven't seen the T49 for a while. He finds and shoots the 1390, puts one into the side for 275 hit points. He's a bit of a high roll. 240 average, 275 he got for that one. The 1390 is now on 231 hit points, which is a one-shot for him. If he can get another shot, he's using this bush really well. Watch this. Pokes forward, pulls back so that the enemy tank goes opaque, and then he shoots so he doesn't get lit. Of course, that one he low rolls and he doesn't get to kill the 1390, but it looks like the 1390 isn't too interested in. Maybe the 1390 was turned to face in there. I don't know. Hoping to get him. He's right on the edge on 26 hit points. He knows his days are numbered because there's 2 tanks coming his way, but Kaliberz says, I'll take that kill. The IS-6 goes down to the Samua. Now they're winning. They're winning 5-4. But don't count your chickens yet. There's a Striv S1. A Striv S1's a Tier 8 premium Swedish flat top tank destroyer. Now wait, we're just going to pause it right there. There's the T49. It looks to me like the T49. You can also see him on the mini map. The T49 looks to me like he may have fallen down He may have fallen down there. So his team are doing the right thing and not going after it. They're just going to continue their push along the eastern flank. We'll see if the T49 ends up falling off a cliff or drowning at some stage soon. I guess soon. I'm not too sure what happens to it. Maybe somebody goes. Maybe it looks like the 53 TP might be trying to get him. Looks like he is. 53 TP is trying to get him. Kaliberz though, he's not getting tempted into trying to get the T49. He's actually requested the 53 TP. He's actually requesting fire on the T49. I'm not sure who he thinks might be able to shoot him. Artillery is out of the game. There's no artillery, so artillery cannot hit the T49. And why would he? The T49's out of the game, unless the T49 is not quite falling down. But that looks like the 53 TP is simply going to waste his time. And what's the other thing that the 53 TP? See, he's down on health. He's down to 416 hit points. He's trying to shoot this T49 here, who is effectively out of the game. I don't think he can get back up there. But what the T49 is doing is keeping this 53 TP spotted. So maybe the Striv, who was last spotted up there, maybe the Striv is getting the opportunity to farm the 53 TP. I'm not too sure. He spots the TS5, which is a Tier 8 premium, non-turreted American tank destroyer, rolls around there, looking for more opportunities to snipe. Of course, the RU-251 and the Samur both got taken out there by the E50 and the Carnarvon. Our hero, Kaliberz, puts one into the AMX 5100, and that brings the score back to 7-7, 1,859 damage done. The T49 finally drowns, so maybe that can free up the 53 TP now to start playing. Of course, he wasted all that time. He got hit by the enemy artillery and killed. 8-8 the score now. 2,136 hit points of damage. Kaliberz in the EBR 90, looking for more opportunities. Shoots at the TS5. Yeah, the TS5, I never bought one, but it does have pretty good armor. Pretty good armor for a tank destroyer. It's American, not unlike, I guess you could say, not unlike the T28, the non-premium, the non-turreted Tier 8 TD, the one that leads to the T95. That's got plenty of armour as well. And man, I guess that's what the TS5 is based on. Kaliberz though looking over the eastern side of Cliff. 9-9 is the score as the Emil gets taken out by the E50 in the middle part of the map. Just leaves a Carnarvon in the middle, but he's backed up by the Louis and the IS-3 just to the northern central part of the map. The 53 TP, the dead guy, the guy who was wasting all that time on the T49. Is picking the map like a madman. 9-10 is the score. The logo's down to the Carnarvon. The friendly low goes down to the enemy Carnarvon, as does the WZ-121 FT. Now all of a sudden they're down again by 2 tanks. 9-11. We're playing on Cliff. This is Kaliberz on his Kaliberz is on his Get On Board Studios debut. A massive welcome to Kaliberz in the EBR 90. This is going to be an absolute ripper. Don't forget, at the end of this game, we're just going to go through a few points that I think people may have forgotten when it comes to the Anonymizer. As mentioned earlier, in my opinion, there are good things and there are bad things about the Anonymizer. I don't think I'm on the fence. I can see why people want it, and I can see why people don't want it. But I will be watching how the game progresses and talking to people about how they feel once the Anonymizer is up and running. 11-12 the score now. The T10 gets killed by our hero Kaliberz, but the IS3 gets blown apart by the Tier 8 auto-loading French heavy tank, the AMX 5100. And there he is. He shoots him once with heat, sets him on fire. Burn, baby, burn. The fire extinguisher goes off. Looks like it was a manual fire extinguisher. That'd be a good idea, sticking with the heat round. Shoots him again for 282, gets the assisted damage on the kill shot from the E50, and now all of a sudden it's an even ball game again. 12-12, 3 versus 3. There's the E50 who's just sent Kaliberz a platoon request. The E50 is on 4 kills, Kaliberz's on 3, the Scorpion's on 1. The Scorpion up there at A5, which is where the tank destroyers often do their stuff on Cliff. On the enemy team, they've got artillery, the M40, M43, the TS5, who was last spotted right where Kaliberz is now. Now he's going, of course, the French wheeled vehicles. They've got if you push the X key, it makes you can turn quicker or you can drive quicker. It's as simple as that. He's just trying to spot for his new platoon mate, the TS5. Shoots him for 259 damage. Looks like the E50 might have hit him as well. down to 727 hit points, pulling back because he knows artillery is still in play. The SDRV S1 Tier 8 Premium Swedish flat pack tank destroyer can't shoot him from where he is, so he's not too worried about the Striv. He's pretty confident that the Striv is still back there because the TS5 is in a position to spot him, so the Striv would probably say, well, righty, I'll do that. Ooh, gets hit by artillery, loses his gun and his wheels. Quick tap of the 4 key fixes his wheels. His gun is still damaged, but it's more about the spotting than anything in this one. He's reloading. He's reloading HE, pinging on the Scorpion. The Scorpion saying, "Come and help us, man. There's only 2 tanks left: the Striv S1 and the M40 M43." He's loaded HE. HE will definitely be for the M40 M43, the Tier 8 American. Self-propelled. Oh, imagine if he had flipped himself. The Striv will be an issue, Kaliberz says in chat, to his platoon mate, the MK2 Titans. That's a pretty cool in-game name. On 5 kills in the E50. He's saying, I'll go first, my friend. Oh, you're joking. Wow, that's the kind of thing that could have so easily... Oh, be careful, man. That's all I'm saying. Be careful. Can't fix his gun for another 36 seconds. So he's going to get himself into position, maybe spot the artillery for the E50. The Scorpion's still not moving. The E50 pinging the Scorpion saying, come on, man, we need you here. Get into the game. 307 hit points left on the EBR 90. You get spotted. What spots him? Would it be the Striv or would it be the Arty? How would the artillery outspot an EBR 90? Pulls back here, very confident that the artillery won't be able to shoot him from here with that little ridgeline there. He's looking in the direction of where the Striv was last seen. The Striv can the Striv one-shot him? He's on 307 hit points. Waits till the repair kit comes off the cooldown. Fixes his gun, or does he? Fix your gun, but don't make a liar out of me, Kaliberz. Or maybe he's not. Maybe he's thinking about it. He does. He fixes his gun. Switches back to fast mode. Looks back at the E50. What's he going to do? There's a Striv S1. The Striv's on 1 kill. Hasn't been seen for a long time, but he was last spotted in the place where tank destroyers in the south spawn would normally sit. The Scorpion is still in the tank destroyer spot in the northern spawn. They've already determined in the chat that he's AFK. Scorpion bot, they're asking the question. Well, he's already got a kill, so he's certainly been playing. Not sure if he's any good or not, but the Scorpion is saying, come on, come down here, man. Kaliberz already saying, look, he's AFK, man. Let's not waste our time. We've got this. Somebody hold my beer. 307 hit points left on the EBR 90, the Tier 9 French wheeled light tank. 3,585 hit points of damage done, 225 assisted damage. We're going to be going through some of the points of the Anonymizer after this game, but first, with 2.5 minutes left on the clock, Kaliberz in his World of Tanks with StewiejP, Get On Board Studios debut, is ready to carry the hell out of this one. Tells him to hold. Stay there, man. Stay there. Don't throw your tank away. What's he on? He's on 246 hit points. If he gets spotted, oh man, he's worried about the E50. He's loading heat now. He's changed his mind from HE to heat, looking towards where the Striv was last seen, hoping to maybe blind shot him. Arty shoots and kills the E50, and he shoots him once with heats and bounces. He's like, oh, I've got to do this now. He's got he's got heat still. Shoots him for 204 hit points. One more shot should be a kill. Where is it? He's behind the rock. He's got to go for it now. He's got to go for it. Well, he knows he's still on the reload. He knows he's still on the reload, but he can see him looking towards where the Striv was last seen. Where is it? Where's the tank? Oh, what's he going to do? Blind fires. Doesn't hit the jackpot. What's he going to do now? What's he going to do now? There he is again. He's just been spotted again. Shoots to kill, and that's kill number 4. He does get lit. Backs up. Keeps that rock. Look at that. Look at that. That's the way to use your mouse there. He's keeping that rock. He's keeping that rock between him and where the STRV was last seen. Heat rounds are loaded, and now it's 2 versus 1. Or is it 2 versus 1? The Scorpion's still not moving with 1 tank left. You'd think the Scorpion would be moving. Here he is. He finds... He shoots, and it hits its target as the 1 minute siren goes off. And look at the Striv. You're like, wow. Switches to HE because the Striv is absolutely kaput there. Shoots him for 327 hit points. Well-deserved win, well-deserved ace, but didn't end the way we all thought it might have. Kaliberz platooned up with MK2 Mark II Titans, carries that game, 5 kills apiece, and 5 kills apiece. Not bad, not bad at all. Where's the result button? There's the result. Kaliberz in his World of Tanks with Stewie JP Get On Board Studios debut in the Panhard EBR 90 picks himself up an Ace Tanker Mastery badge. He also gets a Bruiser medal for doing the internal modular and crew member damage. Fighter for 5 kills, 5 for effect. Only got one bond. He deserved 10 bonds for that. High caliber, topped the score charts with 4,985 hit points of damage, 5 kills, 1,334 base experience. He fired 30 shots, 26 hit, 22 penned. But of course, with the HE, the penetrating number comes across a little bit different with HE. As compared to normal ones when he was shooting at those lightly armored tanks towards the end. And of course he set that AMX on fire as well, which was an absolute ripper. Only 225 assisted damage, which is I'm a little bit surprised at that. It looked like he did a lot more. 56,000 credits. That's after tax with a premium account, and it looks like he's paying half price for his consumables when they're on sale, which is exactly the right thing to do. Now on to the Anonymizer. If you've been watching YouTube and all that kind of stuff, people have been talking about the Anonymizer like you wouldn't believe. People are jumping up and down saying it's a terrible thing. People are saying it's a fantastic thing. Look, I'm firmly on the fence of this. Doesn't affect me in the slightest. I couldn't give a rat's ass if somebody uses the Anonymizer or if he doesn't. There's a few points that I think people have been asking some questions, and I'd like to address some of those questions. The Anonymizer, all it does, in short, instead of having Stewie JP, it'll have something else. Your in-game name changes. Your in-game name changes with... if you turn the Anonymizer on, your in-game name changes. Nobody else's does, only yours. Okay, and it only changes during the battle. So, what I'd like to point out, so you might have the reason I've got this screen up now. This little symbol, which is just next to the play button on the YouTube video that you can see just over there. That circle with the line through it. It looks a little bit like an O in RØDE Procaster, but the O, that symbol will be next to your name, sort of in the way that the bots have got those two, the colon either end of their name. Well, on the if your name's Stewie JP, after the P, that symbol that you can see there in the middle of the screen will be next to your name, but it won't say Stewie JP. It'll say something else. It'll say Anonymizer. It'll say they're saying that the in-game names created by the Anonymizer will be realistic enough for people not to. So it won't say user 1234 or player 1266 or player or anything like that. It will be names which are similar to the bots on the Australian server or the Latin American server. They look like normal in-game names. However, one other thing that won't show up will be your statistics. I hear people talk about XVM on mod packs all the time. Some of my most popular videos are guides to how to set up as lanes, which is a mod package that I used to use some time ago. I ditched it, not because I've got anything against it. I think that, and if you watch the video that's on the website, I'll put a link down below for the article on the World of Tanks Asia website. A lot of mods a lot of features of the game started off as mods, and eventually Wargaming took them on board. And the video, which is linked to the article, does touch on that. And there are some really good features of the game which only used to be available via mods. And XVM is one of those mods. Now, people think about XVM, they think about statistics, win rates, and all that kind of stuff. It's not just that. XVM do a lot more than just show people's statistics. However, their main feature and their main selling point is that if you go into a battle, you can, if you've got XVM installed, you can see next to people's name whether it's their overall efficiency value, their win rate, their WN8, other metrics as to how good they are. Now, I don't care if people want to use that. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. I couldn't care less. Doesn't affect me. That's why I don't really care. But that's something that will be hidden. So the thinking behind it is that there are really good players out there, players with a much better win rate than I'll ever have. Players, in the 60% win rate and above, often say that they're focused because their XVM rating is high. The XVM rating, whether it's WN8, win rate, efficiency rate, whatever you have selected for your XVM statistics, people say that they get targeted by, whether it's by tank destroyers, artilleries, heavies, mediums, or people YOLO them, people with famous names, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. So I guess the thinking behind the Anonymizer is, if you're a 60 plus, but a unicum is what people call them. If you're a unicum and you're not going to get focused anymore. That's the idea. Well, I disagree. I know what the Aussie players are like. I'm one of them. People might, the kind of people who might focus somebody because of their XVM statistics, Who's to say they won't focus people because they're running the anonymizer? Don't forget, you can see, whether it's on your team or the enemy team, you can see if somebody is running the anonymizer. And that little circle you see there with a line through it, that will be next to somebody's name. I'm guessing the screenshots that I've seen and the screenshots that are shown in the article, it doesn't really stand out. You're going to have to look for it, but there are people who will do that. You know, what I'd like to know is if with the anonymizer, and I'll be keeping an eye on this, and I'll be asking the question again a couple of months after the anonymizer comes out. All these really good players who might have a 60% win rate, 62%, 65% win rate, are they going to get even better because they're no longer being focused by the enemy team? If they do, it probably goes to prove that them saying that they shouldn't be focused all these years, maybe they're wrong. I don't know. I'm not one of those players. I don't focus players because of who they are or because of their statistics. I just play the game as it is because I don't run into any of those modifications anymore. And I think that the better connection that I feel like I get by not running all those mods gives me a better advantage than any advantage of me seeing the statistics of those players. That's why I haven't done a guide to installing those mod packs for a long, long time. Bad players, this is the flip side of the coin. Bad players will be able to hide their statistics. And by bad, I mean people who are not very good at the game and maybe are sick of people sending them messages after the game saying, hey man, you're a really bad player, or stuff like that. In my opinion, more bad players will be running the anonymizer than good. But that's probably because there are more bad players than good players out there. Who knows? The other big positive that I'll see, that I'm hopefully looking forward to, we've all seen it, we've all loaded into a game, whether you run XVM mods or not. We've loaded into a game and somebody has said 40% chance to win, we lose and drowned. I hate it. It's against the rules. We wouldn't have won a couple of world wars if people had had that point of view. That we wouldn't have won any wars if people had had that point of view. But unfortunately, we all know it happens. Now, even if the 40% chance to win was accurate, you wouldn't drown yourself if it was accurate, because if you lost the last one, chances are you're going to win this one. That's if that number is accurate. I don't want to go on and on about the chance to win, but those figures are not very accurate at all. Reason being is the mod creators have exacerbated whatever the difference of skill is between the two teams to make it look like their mod pack is useful. No, if it always says 49%, well, people are going to say, well, who cares? It's only 49% or 51%. But by exacerbating the gap, the skill level gap between the two teams, they make the mod pack look more useful. There's also the fact that after the battle ends, the real in-game name is displayed in the results. So there might be people out there thinking that they might be able to get away with saying things in the in-game chat that they wouldn't normally say if you could see who they were, or they might not face a penalty should they do that. Well, no. Anything you do that's against the rules, whether it's drowning yourself, whether it's trolling other players, whether it's typing in the chat things that you shouldn't type in the chat, you'll still cop a punishment, whether it's a chat ban or an in-game ban. So I highly recommend don't pretend you're anonymous 100%. Nobody's anonymous 100%. The game still knows exactly who you are. So any rules that you break, you'll still cop a slap on the wrist for doing that. Any violations will carry forward. Must also be noted that it's random battles only. So training rooms, strongholds, advances, skirmishes, clan wars and tournaments, the anonymizer does not work for obvious reasons. Finally, last but not least, positives and negatives to the anonymizer. The positives is they're talking about toxicity. Like it's a word I don't really like, but toxicity, it's a word that people say. Will it remove toxicity? I don't think it will, but some people are saying it will through focus fire. On if you're in a good clan, you probably know that you probably know about being focused. Maybe that'll happen because it hides the clan name as well. XVM focus, which we've already touched on. If that happens, I look forward to all these really good players getting even better. All those Unicums out there. It's hard to feel sorry for you because I'm not one of you, but I look forward to seeing you get even better if this anonymizer is going to work for you. The other positive is new players shouldn't cop any grief because of it, but I don't think if somebody does something really dumb, I don't think there are many experienced players out there that will give grief to new players. They'll be able to see, this bloke's a new player. He's only played 100 games. Let's not give him any grief. Or do people do that? I don't know. And of course, the XVM win chance is something else, which is a positive. That will hopefully it'll mean people will pay less attention with the anonymizer. The negatives, again, is the anonymity. Is that a word? It's a word. We'll edit that one out later. I like being part of the Australian server. I like being part of the small community that the Australian server is. I like people saying g'day. People say g'day in a lot of games. G'day, Stewie, how are you? Hey, mate, how you going? I think it's fantastic. Obviously, that's just my team. The enemy team can't do it anymore. But I like that. It's a social part of the game. And that's one of the advantages of being on a small server. Being on a big server, it might be a bit different. EU, Russia and all that, maybe it's a bit different for them over there. I don't know. But I like the fact that people say g'day. The flip side of the coin is if there are people you don't like, maybe you see them all the time as well. So maybe that's something for discussing. And the after-game messages, they will still be a thing because after the game, you can still see who was on the enemy team. And that is something that I hate it. I don't like it when people send abusive messages. And I highly encourage people to not do it. I've got a 13-year-old son who's nearly 13, and I'll think, well, what if he's getting those messages? That's why I've stopped him playing World of Tanks up until now. Who knows? Maybe when he, maybe soon he'll show an interest. I don't know. I don't. But I guess that's part of any online game. This is the first online game I've ever played. So maybe that's this. Don't want to waffle on too much, but of course, Quickie Baby put out his video saying that he didn't like it. Just like to point something out. A good part of Quickie Baby's product is his XVM mod pack, and of course, that the anonymizer makes his mod pack not quite as useful as it is up until then. So of course, take what he says about it with a grain of salt because that would directly be linked to his income. How many people use his mod pack because it means they're linked to him and his content, and it's a bit hard to explain, but I think you know what I mean. Like that removes some of the usefulness of the XVM mod pack, which is what his mod pack is all about. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. Tell me, what do you think? What do you think about the anonymizer? Are you going to use it or are you not going to use it? I'm not going to use it. I'm a little bit too lazy for that. There are good things and bad things. The XVM win chance is something, hopefully, that maybe that gets addressed because that's something I can't stand. We've all seen a game where somebody gives up at the start and then it ends up being a close finish. And if that person had have been in that at the end of that battle, that it would have been maybe an epic victory. Who knows? Tell me what you think. What do you think about the anonymizer? Will you use it? Will you won't? Once again, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the replay. Kaliberz, you absolute legend in the EBR 90. Take care and see you all next time.